My name's Angelo, and welcome to We Want Picks. Every single week, we break down full UFC fight cards. We give you our picks, our bets, and our fantasy plays. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of our content. And we're also giving away $50. Anybody who goes to WeWantPicks.com/bets, signs up with one of our 5 betting partners, and makes a deposit, will get $50 from us. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, however you want it. And this is brought to you by EarnU.io. EarnU.io is the world's first sports and esports prediction game, allowing you to earn crypto risk-free. Check it out now at EarnU.io. Opening up the main card, we have Newson taking on Fernie Garcia. Newson, 9-3 overall, 2-2-1 in his last 5, and he's looking for his first UFC 1 win. Fernie Garcia, 10-1 overall, 5-0 in his last 5, coming off a nice Contender Series KO. And Newson is a come-forward striker with incredible power. But what's interesting is he's actually a grappler. He doesn't just use it he just doesn't use it in his fights. He's got these phenomenal grappling skills in his back pocket, but he discovered power halfway through his career, and he just fell in love with that, and he chases knockouts. When he does decide to wrestle, he has decent takedowns, but even if his entries are not great, he sticks with them, and he just constantly pressures forward until he gets it. When it hits the ground, he has slick transitions, but can struggle with control. And I mentioned he's 2-2-1 in his last 5, but the reality is he knocked out Domingo Pilarte cold, but he tested positive for weed, and they overturned that win. So that's what that third one is, or that third number there. Fernie Garcia is a pretty well-rounded guy. He has pretty good wrestling background, but when he fights, he's primarily a striker. His striking style is forward pressure, counter striker. So he's always taking steps forward, but he does a good job of moving out of the way when things come at him, and then he fires back. He has solid fight IQ, and if he's on the wrong side of those exchanges, he will drop down and grapple. He's at Fortis MMA and was pretty clear that for this fight camp and for a lot of his teammates' fight camps, he's been wrestling and grappling like crazy. And right now, Fernie Garcia is sitting at, almost a 2-1 favorite, right? Minus 155. And I have to imagine that's because of his KO in the Contender Series and his wrestling ability when he uses it. But that KO in the Contender Series was an anomaly. He's not normally a KO guy. He'll sit in the pocket and he will bang if there's an opportunity, but he doesn't have that same devastating knockout power that Newson does. And it's an interesting matchup because I think Fernie's the better fighter, who's more technical striker, and he uses his wrestling better. But Newson has the UFC experience and is dangerous both on the feet and on the ground. I'm giving a slight lean here to Fernie Garcia, but I am worried that the Contender Series knockout has him thinking that he could trade strike for strike with Newson because Newson has more power. So hopefully Fernie, you mentioned he's trained his wrestling. Hope he sticks to the wrestling and just out grapples Newson for the win.
Yeah, that was kind of my my whole break. That was literally like word for word for my breakdowns. Was he needs to grapple to win. Newson, he is like one of those old school like brawler type guys. He just wants to absolutely brawl. It's not going to be super technical, but the guy will throw hands. It'll get him in trouble, but it will also get others in trouble as well. He has a black belt on the ground, as you mentioned. But yeah, he doesn't really use it, as you mentioned as well. He is an orange belt in Taekwondo. Is that good?
I guess so. I don't know those belts.
It's listed, so it must be pretty good. So he's an orange belt in Taekwondo as well. But yeah, Fernie Garcia, the path to victory is just in his wrestling. He's got some decent takedowns. Not the best, but he's got pretty good timing on him. His stance is a little bit, when he strikes, his stance it's almost like a karate stance, but he boxes out of it. It's a very weird stance, and his footwork almost looks slow because of it. So if he starts getting into brawls with Newson and these exchanges, he's not going to have the footwork to get out of those exchanges, and Journey is going to catch him. So if this turns into a brawl, if this gets nasty, this is definitely a Journey fight. This is going to be tailor-made for him. But Fernie, I love that name too, by the way. Fernie, if he does stick to the wrestling with those good timing on those takedowns and grapples and stay out of, the danger of the black belt and Newson, I think that this is a clear path to victory for him. We'll see if he sticks to that game plan, but that's the path. You're 10-1, get the win.
I completely agree, and he should. Like, he literally has been very vocal about how much he's grappling in training camp. $8,600 is probably a decent price to pay. The problem is, these brand new UFC guys, I do not believe in the Contender Series fade. I think that's made up nonsense that people like to just talk about. But with that being said, Newson is dangerous. So it's tricky to spend that much money on Fernie Garcia when we're not positive what he's going to do. But listen, he's not in the 9,000s, and there are some people in the 9,000s that I absolutely hate here. So Fernie Garcia is my pick. You going to spend that money in DraftKings?
Probably not.
Okay. Fun.
But maybe. But probably not.
All right. Very fun.
It might though.
All right. That's very helpful. Monkey Knife Fight. What do you think of that line? That's a very high line for Fernie Garcia. Because I think he could potentially get a TKO on top if he sticks to that wrestling and stays super busy. But I don't know. I think it's a more or less type situation.
Yeah, if you're going to play, I think it's definitely probably more for Journey because he's going to be there. He's going to be throwing his bombs. Yeah, that is a tough 74.5.
Yeah. All right. So I think we're aligned on that. Sorry, I'm messaging with the web guy here. I think we're aligned on that. Guys, if you want to check out Monkey Knife Fight, we don't pick.
I don't text I don't text well. I'm pretty professional about this whole thing. So my focus is on the people and our picks. Your focus is elsewhere. And it's fine. I mean, one of us is always going to be more dedicated and better than the other one. I guess it's just me this week. So,
yeah, I guess we'll see what happens. I guess we will see. Last week we were dead even. That's the first time that's ever happened, I think. So anyway, weonpicks.com/bets. Sign up, make a deposit. Let me know after you do, and we send you $50